Now let's take you back in time a little bit. In 2013, the then Transport Minister, the late John Michuki, effected unprecedented road rules that were contained in a document branded as Legal Notice 161/2003. The tough laws were aimed at curbing road carnage and taming rogue PSV drivers. Here are some of those stringent rules or laws that came to be known as Michuki rules. Now, Michuki directed that all public service vehicles be fitted with speed limiters, which restricted them to just 80 kilometers per hour. The rules also required that all vehicles, both private and public, be fitted with safety belts. It was expected of PSVs to indicate route lines, the number of passengers they are licensed to carry, and also have a continuous yellow line painted on their sides. Now, at the same time, he directed that all PSV drivers and conductors wear uniforms and PSV badges as prescribed by law. They're also required to prominently display their photos as prescribed by the same rules. And lastly, the piece of legislation prescribed that all drivers be exposed to a medical checkup after every 2 years to ascertain whether they are fit to be behind the wheel. Now, that police operation to enforce those Michuki rules on matatus is not sitting well with matatu owners. The crackdown has also reignited debate over the enforcement of traffic rules and the role that police are expected to play. With the county, NTSA, Transport Ministry and Interior Ministry all involved, the big question is, where does the buck stop?
As most public service vehicles stayed away from the roads, matatu owners spent the better part of the day in a crisis meeting. The current police operation that aims to flush out non-compliant PSVs has caught them off guard.
We are not opposed to any laws or rules, safety rules in the country. Not at any moment were they suspended, nor were they buried with Michuki. Laws are laws, they'll stay in the land and will come and go, but the law remains. What we are against is the manner in which all this is being done, because it's supposed to be a continuous exercise. I don't understand what it means to crack down on matatus.
They disrupt the system of the economy. And for a responsible government ought not to do that, because the immediate response from the matatus is to withdraw the matatus. Who suffers? It is the people. Now, like this morning, fares would rise from 50 shillings to 120 shillings.
We want to have a serious strategy to suppress the impunity on the road, the behavior of motorists on the road. So we have put out a strategy of enhancing enforcement. So it is not really a crackdown. The people are saying now it is a crackdown.
Crackdown or not, what's left government in the spotlight is the staccato implementation of these traffic laws.
Hii governor, hii mishipi, hii kila kitu bwana waziri, na Januari tumelipia watoto shule, tumefinyika kidogo.
The famous and tough traffic rules launched by the late John Michuki when he headed the Transport Ministry in 2003 were lauded by the public. But they appear to have mainly gathered dust since Michuki's exit from the ministry. Police have had many operations ever since, even involving the National Transport and Safety Authority in their seasonal crackdowns.
NTSA is supposed to be a licensing body. It's supposed to be a policy making, not an enforcer. And earlier on we had seen them on our roads, then they were later on removed. And I think what happens is there's no proper coordination.
They come in during enforcement when police have taken the first action, like arresting a vehicle, taking for a motor vehicle to inspect. So that motor vehicle inspector belongs to NTSA.
We want to know more from the traffic commandant about this current operation and what exactly they are looking out for.
Yellow line, uniform, patches for conductor and driver, photos for drivers, public service vehicles drivers. Look at those manyanga they are saying to Naonea. We are not against those manyangas, but the way they behave, those lights, you know they are running, eh? These lights, they are running. So, the lights which are put on those vehicles, the horns, the gravity, those which are inside, we are also going to remove those ones.
This is a classic example of the different messaging from government. In 2014, the president himself gave matatu owners the go-ahead to have graffiti on their PSVs.
Ndipo tunasema tunataka hata hawa vijana muwasaidie, hawa wanachora. Hiyo ni biashara pia ya vijana wetu. Yeah?
They should not interpret the president's words in such a way that they were allowed to throw gravity in a way they want. No. That is the way he put it. He say let them just throw some light things. Not those ones, the Satan ones.
Let the circles, the companies, and the associations be the ones to say. And unfortunately, self-regulation cannot come in when there is interference by traffic policemen. So it loses meaning, because every time, even if your people have complied 100%, they'll still go around and make money from these matatus.
Remember that transport is a devolved function, and therefore the mandate goes back to the county governments, the Ministry of Transport within the county government. So each county government ought to come up with legislation on how to manage transport systems within their counties.
The opinions are varied, and police say this operation is just the beginning of their new approach to improving road safety. But stakeholders and the wider public will wait to see how sustained and effective this new crackdown will be. Asha Mwilu, Citizen TV, Nairobi.